I'm Becky Ratliff of Soul Connections, and tonight we are going to do Lesson 3 of Angels and Guides. This one's kind of long, everybody, so just to be prepared, have your pencils and things ready, I hope, because there's going to be lots of writing for this one. First off, when we ask our angels for help, they do one of the following. We're going to start out right away with you having to put the things in. Okay? They can give us guidance. What we're doing now, this helps us to take the right steps to co-create your answers to prayer with your angels' help. So these things writing in helps you to really connect with that more. So they can give us guidance, or they can give you a sign that they are with you. And when they give you a sign, this is done in many ways, such as seeing, feeling, hearing your angels, how we've talked about connecting in. Those are some signs. We'll get into that a little more deep here in a few minutes. Your angels may intervene and manifest what you're asking for. The angels would manifest this when the time is right. They will not interfere with our free will. They'll only help us manifest things if we ask. We have to ask them first. It may not be the exact time that you're wanting it manifested. It would be in divine time or in God's time. We don't get to choose the time that it's going to happen. So just know that. And remember that patience is the key. So the more we try to connect with them, the more often we do this over and over and over, the more it'll come to us, and the more we'll be able to connect in and hear them when they're speaking to us. So patience is most definitely the key. Okay, so we have 3 ways. We have guidance that they can give us, we have signs that they can give us, and we have where they can intervene with us. Okay? Divine guidance is the most common way that our angels help us and that they answer our prayers. At times of guidance, you must accept the help of your angels and take that action. So if we ask them for help, and then they give it to us, or we hear them talking to us and we don't follow it, there wasn't much reason to ask for it. Because if we don't follow what we're given, why would we even ask for it? And you can't expect it to happen if we don't follow through. It's with anything, you have to follow through. The same with your angels. A lot of time that we think that our prayers are not answered, and the reason for this is because we are human and we have tendencies to ignore the information that's given to us. And remember, a thought that is not your thought is your angel speaking to you. So if you've asked for divine guidance and you don't actually hear a voice, that doesn't mean that they're not giving you that guidance. They could be giving it to you through this random thought that just came to you. Or it could be through actions of things that happened throughout that day or at that moment. So remember that it can also be that thought that's not your thought. When we receive divine guidance, it is very encouraging, loving, repetitive, and uplifting. At the time of divine guidance, we are always asked to improve our situation. So one of the things that you want to remember, if you ever hear the same thing 3 times in a row, you can trust that that's your angel speaking to you and talking with you to give you that guidance. That's the repetitiveness that they're talking about. So just always pay attention to that. And you might get that thought and think, did I really hear that right? And then you might hear it again and again and again. And so again, that's your way that you can trust and know it's them. This is another write-in. There's 5 different things we're going to write in here. Divine guidance can come in one or more of 5 different ways. Okay? We have physical, emotional, and physical or emotional divine guidance is clairsentience. And clairsentience means clear feeling. And clear feelings can be the tingling sensations that we get. It can be the goosebumps. It can just be that intuitive hunch that you get that gut feeling about something. It could be the gut feeling, or it could be the presence of an angel with you, meaning that you see them. Okay? We'll go over that again. The tingling sensations, goosebumps, an intuitive hunch of something, gut feelings, or the presence of the angel with you. Okay, did you guys get all of that? Yes. Once again, these are clairsentient feelings. When you are extra sensitive to others' feelings, emotions, or energies is when you're receiving divine guidance. If you are clairsentient, it is important to be careful who you spend time with because you are more deeply and easily influenced than the average person. This means it's kind of part of that empath thing. You're picking up on things that's with them and around them because you can clearly feel that. So you got to be careful, because if you're spending time with someone that's negative, it's very easy to pick up their negative feelings. If they'll say, oh, I just don't believe that, that's never going to happen. Well, it probably won't, because that's their belief. That's that negative attitude where if they're in something, say, yeah, I asked for this and I just know it's going to happen, then they're going to manifest that positive, and that's what you want to be around. Sometimes it's hard because we have friends and we have family members that have those negative attitudes, and it's hard to cut them out of our lives. But sometimes there comes a time when we don't have much choice but to cut it away so that we don't soak up those negative energies and feel negative ourselves about things. It's extremely important to protect yourself when you're this sensitive. We've talked about the ways of protection, to surround yourself in white light, to call on your angels for help and for their protection. You can protect yourself by praying and asking for protection, or visualizing spiritual protection of white light surrounding you. Once again, you can also envision blowing that bubble like you did when you were a child, and then seeing yourself inside that bubble, and then envisioning white light around that. That puts a protective bubble around you, kind of encasing you in plastic, so to speak. You also need to clear yourself, releasing negative energy that you could pick up throughout your day. So every day, it's very, very important in the evening or even throughout the day to cleanse yourself of those negative energies. You can do that by saying, okay, I'm cutting away any negative that I've been around today. I will not accept that energy. I'm pushing negative energy away and only bringing in positive. You can also use the sea salt. Okay, you can take sea salt showers or bath, and you can get rid of negative energy and release it by praying and asking for any negativity you picked up to be removed. Okay, how are we doing? Guys with me? Okay. When you feel this and have asked your angels for help, please take notice of how you feel and honor those feelings by thanking your angels for their help. So when, say you've all day long, you've been around negative people, or you've been doing things that you've had a tendency to pick up negative energy. Now you're home and you've asked for that to be removed, or you've taken that sea salt shower or bath. Take notice of how you feel after that. Notice and you can journal this. When you first start, how you're feeling, whether you feel kind of low or whether you're just not feeling with it, or like something's just not quite right. And then after asking for it to be removed or taking the sea salt shower or bath, take note how you feel. If you're feeling refreshed, or if you're still feeling that way. If you're still feeling like you've got some negative around you, or you're still feeling kind of low, then ask again for your angels to remove that. But when you ask, you have to remember that they will do it. You have to believe that and have faith in it. Because if you don't, it's not going to go away because you're not releasing it. You're still owning it. At no time think that you are crazy and that it's just you with these thoughts. You need to understand we are spoken to from God and our angels by how we feel. Once again, it's the tingling, the goosebumps, the hunches, the gut feelings, all of those type of things. When we get those feelings, that's not us. That's our angels and God or our guides corresponding with us. Divine guidance, you will feel safe and loved. You should always follow your feelings and your thoughts, even if they don't make sense to you. If you're not sure if this is guidance from the divine, then ask your angels for clarity or validation. So if you're not sure about that, once again, repeat it. And I can't say enough to remember that patience is the key. So do it over and over and over till you realize what's happening and that it is from your guides and angels. Another way that this can be done is through visions and dreams. Okay? Through visions and dreams is called clairvoyance. Short for clairvoyance means clear seeing. There are many forms of clairvoyance. Okay? We've got 4 of these that we're going to list. There's dreams and visits, or spirits that visit us while we're awake as well as in our dreams. There's what's called mind movies. There's also flashing lights or something that you see out of the corner of your eye. Okay? Dream visits or spirits that visit us while we're awake is us being able to see them, and everybody sees them differently. I see it more as a smoky figure. Once in a great while, I will get a full embodied apparition. Some people always see a full embodied apparition. Some people see something that's kind of like, for a lack of a better way to explain it, like a blob, but it might be in color. And so they learn to associate the color of that energy with the person that it belongs to, so they know who it is. Flashing lights, sometimes if you have a migraine, a lot of times you see there's a little fluttering of flashing lights around you. Well, sometimes you see those and you don't have a migraine or there's nothing going on. That's your angels and guides that are with you and showing you that they're there. Okay? The mind movies, when I first started doing readings, they would show me like a scrolling marquee in front of the person's forehead or their face, and it would just roll down with pictures or with words for me to read. So those are kind of like mind movies, sort of like if you've watched a movie and you really enjoyed that movie and then you go home and you're kind of thinking about it, and if you close your eyes, you're seeing all of these things happen. Your angels and guides will correspond with you in that aspect as well. Sitting here now, just say something kind of flashes by you and you look and there's nothing there. That's seeing something out of your corner of your eye. That's an energy that has passed you out of your peripheral vision, and that's also clairvoyance. So all of those ways are clairvoyance. All of these ways of receiving information, like I just said, is clairvoyance. When you're a clairvoyant and you receive divine information clairvoyantly, you are usually very visual and sensitive to light and color. So you know how some people can envision things better than they can understand it just being told to them. That's all still a form of clairvoyance. When you have clear seeing and you can visualize what you're asking for, goes right back to those visions or your dreams or your mind movies. People have a tendency to think that clairvoyance is seeing full embodied apparitions or three-dimensional figures. Some do see it that way, but not all. Like I explained, I just see the smoky figures. I've known people to say that they can just see like an energy that looks like a big circle or a misty thing, but it has color to it. So that's another way. When you get these images or actually see or have a dream come true and you're not sure of the meaning, ask your angels for the understanding of what just happened. So if you get that mind movie and you're not sure what it was about or why did I see that, where did that come from, ask your angels for clarity as to what that means. If you just see something and you're not sure why did I see that or where did that come from, ask your angels for the clarity. What did that mean to me? What is involved in that? Where did that come from? So that's your clairvoyance things that go on. There's knowingness. Knowingness is claircognizance. which short for that means clear knowing. That's where your intuitive comes in. The sense of knowing information without reason. The kind of knowledge how to fix or build without instruction. It's all the intuitiveness. They call it mother's intuition most generally with women. It's the intuitiveness. They can classify it whatever they want. I don't know how when a guy has that intuitiveness, how he can call it mother's intuition, but that's what it's always referred to. It is said that people who have the ability of clear knowing or divine guidance or wordless words is another very good way to put it. It's just knowing it. You don't have to have any sound. You don't have to hear anything. It's just wordless words, are very much analytical and intellectual people. You know how you meet people that just seem to analyze everything to death? That's because it's like they know it, and when somebody else doesn't, they can't understand, why aren't you getting this? Why don't you know it? I've got it, type thing. So that's all part of your claircognizance. When you're analytical, answers to your prayers are like brilliant ideas. It's like, yeah, the light bulb just come on. I got it. I see it. I know what you're talking about. It's like writing a book or starting a business. It's like, woohoo, yes, there it is, type thing. Also, people who are claircognizant, they are natural channels and have wisdom well beyond their years. So you hear people sometimes talk about somebody's an old soul, or that person usually is very claircognizant or very well knowing of things, and it just makes sense to them because they've lived so many years throughout past lives that they've gained that knowledge out of each life. So that knowledge continues to stay with them. So in the lifetime that they're in now, everything makes perfect sense to them, but they don't understand why it doesn't make sense to everyone else. So you might have a child who's 5, 6 years old, and they can start rattling all of these things off, and we hear, oh my goodness, their IQ's crazy. They're so intelligent, they're an Einstein, but actually they're an old soul. And it's just the claircognizance and the knowledge that they've gathered throughout the years. When you get these ideas or thoughts that when you get these ideas or thoughts, don't make the mistake that it is common knowledge, because it's not. Realize that you do have the ability to see these things and be confident in yourself in doing so. Forget about, am I crazy? Is that just me? Or is this really true? You've got to put that away and have faith that it's true, because it is. You wouldn't be getting it if it wasn't true. If you need help believing in yourself, then ask your angels for help in giving you that confidence. Once again, always goes back to our angels to tell us what we're seeing, our angels to clear something up, our angels to let us know what it is that's going on with us and to give us that confidence. You also can ask your angels to awaken your divine gifts and bring it into full fruition. They will be there for you to help you. Another way of this is called words and sound, which is clairaudience, meaning clear hearing. Again, this can come in many different ways. People think that you have to hear spirit talking to you in your ear to be clairaudient. That's not true. There are 6 different ways that we can hear our angels talk to us. High-pitched ringing in your ears. That's your angel speaking to you. That's because their vibrations are so extremely high, it comes across as this ringing. As time goes on, you'll learn to translate that ringing into what they're saying. The ringing may still be there, but then the thought comes in. So that's how you'll translate it. Once again, patience. Patience is the key. Being quiet and listening for them and learning how to connect with them. The second way is a song or a tune that has meaning to you. Maybe you've asked your angels something and you're like, they're not answering me. But then you go to leave and you turn the radio on in the car and this song comes on and you're like, oh my gosh, that's what I was just thinking, or that's what I was just talking about, or that makes sense to me. That's another way for them to talk to you. You can hear your name being called and no one's there. And I'm sure this has happened to all of you. It happens all the time. And you're like, where'd that come from? Who the heck was that? And you're like, there's nobody there. How could I be hearing my name? It's because your angels are wanting your attention. And so they're calling out your name. When you hear your name called and there's no one there and you know that's your angels wanting your attention, ask them. Tell them, okay, I hear you. What would you like to tell me? What would you like for me to know? And then listen to see what you get on that. It could be a conversation. You could be out in public and there's a conversation going on, and maybe you ask your angels a question that morning and you didn't feel like you got an answer, but now suddenly you could be in the grocery store or you could be at work and there's this conversation going on and you think, oh, I know who that is, and you turn around and you don't know these people from Adam. You're like, I don't know who that is. How do they know me? How do they know what's going on in my life? It's not that they know what's going on in your life. It's just a way that your angels are giving you your answer. Some people sometimes need something more concrete than just that thought or just things that come to them. So they'll find different ways to give you that. Our angels are very creative, and they will work and work and work with you till you understand that it's them, because they want to correspond with you. They want you to know that they're there so that you can hear them. Sometimes some type of a music that only you can hear. It's like you could be sitting there right now and suddenly this song or this music's playing in your mind and you're like, how come nobody else hears that? Or somebody could say something and you'd be like, did you hear that? And they're like, hear what? I didn't hear anything. Once again, that's your angels talking to you. And last but not least, that most common way, those thoughts that's not your thoughts. Okay, those are very important to remember. Thoughts that are not your thoughts can be there all the time, so to speak. And that's the most common way that our angels will talk with us until they know that you're really connected in and know that it's them. These are all forms of clairaudience. When you are clairaudient, you're usually very sensitive to sounds and noises. Thoughts that are not yours, actually hearing voices in your head. And also you may hear it right at your ear as it's being whispered to you. When you hear it low, like a whisper, it isn't necessarily a whisper. It's your guardian angel speaking softly and in a positive manner. If you remember, on our guardian angels, we usually have one that's a little more bold than the other one. So one of them will usually talk to us louder than the other one. So if you get that whisper, just realize it's your guardian angel that, for lack of a better way to explain it, is that maybe it's the one that's a little more shy or the one that's a little more soft and they speak more softly. The ringing in your ears is usually information being downloaded to you. So if you've got a really loud ringing in your ears, you can just bet, like, wow, what are they trying to tell me? What are they giving me now? And those downloads are usually lessons or things that they're going to be teaching us and moving us forward in. Sometimes it can be rather loud, and remember, we train our angels and guides as they train us. So if it's too loud, ask them to calm it down. If they get too, like you feel like it's just overwhelming, ask them to back off. Let them know this is too much for me. I can't hear this because you're yelling at me. You've got to tone it down, because they don't realize it. When we get messages from our angels, it's very important to really take notice. When your angels are talking to you loudly, it can bring a warning or an urgent message. So pay attention to that. It could be that they're trying to get something across to you and that they're not just talking loud. If they're trying to get a point across to you and they're talking loudly, we don't want to tell them to back off, of course. We want to listen to that message. But if you don't feel that it's a warning or an urgent message, then you can tell them to back off. When our angels just want to talk to us and to help guide us and teach us with direction, they usually talk to us more softly. When they speak softly, we need to really still our minds and bodies so that we can hear them. That takes us back to how I was telling you how to get in connection with them, is by that quiet time, that sort of meditative period of time where you just sit quietly, tune out, the deep breathing exercises, and just relax in and then ask them that yes or no question. The more you learn to tune into your angels' voices, the more sensitive your ears will become and the more you will hear them and the more in tune that you will become with your angels. However or whenever our angels talk to us, it is always in a loving and inspiring way. They will never yell at us to correct us or to be just screaming at us like we've done something wrong. So if you're starting to hear something like that, you demand that energy to leave, because that's not your angels and guides. All angels can see past, present, and future of our lives. It's all around us, so they have a perspective on how and what we do in our everyday activities and how it will affect us in our tomorrows. If our angels and guides, if they do something with us or they ask us for something and we're not sure, once again, we need to ask them. If we're not sure why they're telling us to do something, we should still follow their direction and instructions because they would never steer us wrong. But once again, ask them if you're not sure. But just remember that what they're giving us is a benefit to our future. They won't interfere with your free will, though. They'll give you the guidance and the direction. It's your choice whether to follow that guidance and direction. So just remember that. Divine guidance and examples include emotionally, and in emotions, it's like give your worries and your angels and to God, forgive yourself and others, and a big one is to overcome the procrastination attitude. Does that mean that I heard them or didn't I hear them? Is that just me or is that them? Oh, yeah, I'll listen to them tomorrow. Today I want to do this. Okay? So you got to overcome that procrastination. Another one is lifestyle and detoxify, diet, exercise, walking in nature, and meditation. So in lifestyle, we want to get rid of all of the toxins and poisons out of our system. Sometimes that means changing our diet. Sometimes it means exercise. But all of these are a connection to the divine. Walking in nature is kind of a meditation, just that quiet time of just settling yourself down and listening to your angels. That's also a time to re-energize and to renew your vibrations and your spirit. I got to touch on this because they're making me. I was trying to skip over it and they're telling me no. Detoxifying with poisons and talking about diet and exercise, they're usually, or a lot of times, are referring to substance abuses. Anything that is mind altering, we need to get rid of. I know that I'm not saying you guys are, but I know there are people that use different things for and it's a substance abuse. It's a mind altering substance. We can't have that in our life with our spirituality. It has to go. You cannot connect if your mind is altered. And if your mind is altered, you can very quickly let in negative energies. Mind-altering substances are a negative energy. So we've got to get rid of those kind of things out of our life if we've allowed them in our life or if we allow them in our lives at the present. Another way is career, money. We have released work stress or job-related issues, let go of financial fears. God will provide. Most of all, follow your dreams, your passions, and your desires. So say you're not in the perfect job, that you want something better for yourself. Reach out and grab that brass ring. God will get it for you, but in divine timing. As humans, when we ask for something or we want something or we're trying to reach our goals, and if we don't reach it now, we think we're failing. And we think, okay, I'm never going to get it. I'm never going to reach that. And you have to realize that it's all in divine timing. It's in God's time, not ours. So don't quit dreaming. Don't give up on what's out there for you. Go for it. Just continue to walk straight ahead and not backwards. Spirituality. It's important to meditate and to take time for ourselves. Quiet our minds and our bodies. They are saying that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Those who scream the loudest get heard. This is true with your angels. The more you talk to them, the more you will hear from them. So, like if you're in a situation where there's a lot of other people around and you have an idea and everybody else is talking and you never get to say what you want to say, and so you feel like, okay, well, I didn't get heard. Speak up. That squeaky wheel gets heard. Okay? Scream louder if you feel like you're not being heard. But they will contact us. They will talk to us. I hate to keep repeating this, But once again, patience is the key, and practice, practice, practice. Talk to your angels about anything and everything. This is a way of release to share your joys, your heartaches, your dreams, your fears, your worries, and your disappointments. Things that have bothered you or that have been locked away. Talk to them about it. Release it. Let it go. Anything that you're holding on to like that is a block, and it keeps you from moving forward. So we got to give it to them. They will talk to us about happy times. They will talk to us about sad times. They'll talk to us about our struggles. They'll talk to us about our accomplishments. We have to give it all to them and allow them to work with us with it and handle it for us. Release the negativity to your angels in the universe. So if you've got something that's been bothering you for years and you bring that up and you talk to your angels about it, that's a way of releasing it. You've just removed a block. So if you have 50 things that's blocking you that's a negative thing, maybe you've had 50 arguments with a family member, or maybe there's somebody you just can't get along with and it's just constant over and over and over. Release that to your angels in the universe. That removes that block that you have. So it's very important to keep blocks removed so that we can continue to grow and move forward. Talk to your angels about absolutely everything. There isn't anything that can surprise your angels because remember, they know our past, they know our present, and they know our future. So nothing's going to shock them. They're totally aware before we even get there or even after we've been there. So let them have it. Angels technically already know what's going on. That's what I'm talking about with our past, present, and future. So let them have it. Let them hear it. Let them help with it. The one thing that you want to remember to do, though, is once we give it to them and they help us with something, always remember to acknowledge that and give them thanks. The more you talk to your angels, the deeper your relationship with them will be. If you want to feel even closer to your angels, sit quietly and ask them their names. Ask this in your mind, out loud, or visualize asking them. Whatever you're comfortable with, they will hear you regardless of how you ask them. When you visualize it, try to see them in your mind's eye. So if you've closed your eyes, see if you can envision an angel. Let's do that right now. Everybody close their eyes and see if you can see an angel in your mind's eye. Can you see them? Has everybody got their angel there with them? Rita, do you see your angel? Rita? Yes. Do you see your angel? Yes. Okay. Sibylla? Yes. Christine? Yep. John? Yep. Yay! See, I told you your angels are always with you. When you're asking it out loud, you should say it like you would be talking to anyone else. Hello, what is your name? And after you do this, listen quietly for the answer. It should be a sound, a feeling, a thought, a vision, or in the manner that they answer you. But as I told you before, whenever anyone tells you or when the angels tell you their names, write them down because sometimes you don't remember them. And sometimes it's hard to understand the name because it can be a little unusual. So I'm going to give you about 15 seconds to do that again. Close your eyes and ask your angel for their name and see if you get anything. Okay, Rita, did you hear anything? It's okay. It's all right. Sibylla?
Yeah, it's not me up.
Okay, there you go. So you have one of the archangels with you. Great. Christine?
Margaret.
All right. John? Okay, it's all right. Just keep practicing that on your own. But sometimes if you're trying too hard, you might not hear the name. So in 15 seconds, it's really kind of hard because you're really not getting a chance to relax and communicate. So it's okay, Rita, that you didn't hear it. Just take some time to yourself later, and you too, John, and see if you can get that. If you're trying too hard, like I said, you may not hear it. If this happens, try to relax and quiet yourself and ask again. Once again, practice until you get it. You can ask for validation in the name, and you will be surprised at how many times you will hear that name in your physical world. So once you get a name, or you're not sure if you got the name, suddenly it's like those conversations. You may hear that same name over and over and over in someone's conversation, and that's usually meant for you, that it goes with you. Maybe in the conversation, someone is talking on the TV or the radio, and the more you talk to your angels and ask the question, the more you will know the difference between your angels, and your thoughts and sounds are from your own. It is the intuitive part of us, like knowing when the phone rings who is calling, or when someone is texting you who sent the text before reading it. And the more time we spend with our angels, the more in tune we will become with them. When you do this over and over and over, you learn to trust and lean on your angels, and you get further away from, is that me or is that them? And your angels' guidance, you will find love, success, and balance as a result as you do this. Sometimes we need clarity about all of this, okay? And there are different ways to achieve that clarity. This is a big section, guys, so you can relax, okay? When you relax, it is important to just relax everything in your life. If we try too hard, we can set ourselves up for failure. So just relax. You don't have to strain to hear your angels. Actually, your angels are very eager to hear from you. So they want to communicate with you. Take some deep breaths, relax your body, and be ready to receive, and ask your angels to help you relax if you need to. Release that tension and ease your mind and body. So it's kind of a meditative thing when we relax. Breathe. It's very important to breathe. It is very true when we are stressed that we hold our breath without realizing it. When we hold our breath like that, it actually blocks us from hearing the message from our angels. So deep breathe when talking to your angels. It is said the angels' messages are carried on molecules of oxygen. Like little science info here, guys. So fresh air, when you're deep breathing and you're breathing, it is important because you're getting clean, fresh molecules. And since it's said that their messages are carried on that for us to hear it, it's very important for us to have clean, fresh air as we breathe in. It's also maybe easier to hear and talk to your angels outside nature, somewhere around water, because water is considered very spiritual. So if you're having a hard time as you're trying to learn to speak with them, maybe go out and sit by the beach, or someplace where there's a small babbling brook that you know, someplace out in nature where you can just really sit and relax and breathe and just let everything kind of flow away, and then listen and try to tune in. Another is to follow their guidance. Okay. Our angels are our best teachers, so listen to them. Ask for their assistance on anything, then listen, and once again, follow their direction. Ask for signs. Don't tell your angels what signs to use, as they will use the sign that will resonate with us. So don't say to them, hey, make something fall over in the room, then I know you're here, because they're going to laugh at you and not do it. Don't say, whisper in my ear so I know you're here, because they're not going to do it. They will use whatever sign makes more sense to you. So you might think that if you ask them, say, knock that off the shelf, you might think that resonates with you, but on the other hand, it may scare the crap out of you. So it's like, God, they just did that, now what? Is that really my angels, or is that something that's not supposed to be here? So they will use whatever signs best to resonate with you. So don't ask them to do something particular. It could be something funny or serious that they do or use. Our angels do have a sense of humor, believe it or not. So they have a tendency to take on our personalities, because once again, that's what resonates with us. So if you're somebody that likes to joke around a lot or do funny things, then that's how they'll come to you. So say that you're constantly trying to scare somebody. and you're like, walk up and you tap them from behind to see if they notice it. Well, not that your angel's trying to scare you when they do that, but they may walk up and tap you from behind, and you're like, oh gosh, what was that? Okay, and that would just be them doing that to be funny. There's different signs from the angels that can be signs. Okay, one is things that we hear. If you hear something in your mind 3 times, pay attention, because that's for sure your angels talking to you and trying to tell you something. Remember that our angels know best. But as humans, so many times we try to override that with our free will and not pay attention. So pay attention to what they're telling you. One example is, I used Doug, who used to be a part of the group but has now moved. Last year, when he was on his way, before he left school, we were having a really wintry night. He's a school teacher. And he heard, take a particular route home. And he heard it over and over. But when he got in his car, he thought, no, I think the freeway's clear, I'll go that way. He didn't hit the first mile marker on the freeway till he was in an accident. So his guides and angels were giving him a warning, telling him to do something different, but his free will overrode that, and he did, and it caused him a problem. So it's very, very important to listen to what they say to us. Feathers. Sometimes maybe you're outside, or maybe you're just in the house and suddenly this feather just floats down in front of you and you're like, heck, where'd that come from? Maybe you have down pillows and you think, oh, it just came out of the pillow. Feathers are very spiritual. There's one way that our angels will give us a sign. So if you see a feather floating around you, know that you have an angel there. Then they just want you to know that they're there with you. Another is smells. Okay, maybe you just got a sudden scent of flowers for some reason. And maybe that flower is associated with someone. Maybe somebody's favorite flower was roses, and now you just got a smell of roses. Then you know that spirit's there with you. Okay, you will use smells to let you know that they're around.
What about the smell of tobacco?
Yes, most definitely. That's been a smoker that's around.
I always thought it was maybe my mom, because she died and was a big smoker and everything, but could it be something else? Could it be one of my angels?
No, because your angels don't smoke and never did.
Okay.
So chances are that is your mother.
All right, great.
Also with the smells, this could be a sign of angels or someone you know that has passed onto the other realm and after their physical death, or that their physical death is near. Maybe before your mom passed, maybe she was in another state or in another area, and suddenly you got this smell of her cigarette smoke, and you're like, where'd that come from? Why? And that could be a sign to you of your mom's passing. So there's different things like that that can give us an idea sometimes of what's going on. Flashes of color is another way. Sometimes we see flashes of light, speckles, or specks. This can be in color or it could be just white. Sometimes people see silver a lot. But these are those specks that you see floating around you. And when we get into the colors that the angels are associated with, you will know when you see that particular color what angel's with you or around you at that time. Which we are going to do yet tonight, by the way. Very soon. When we see the color white, it is our guardian angels. But when we see colors that are archangels, I'm going to give you those colors, okay? They're listed on your paper there also. But beige is Azrael. And she's the archangel of grief and healing, if you remember, the angel of death. So if you're seeing flashes of beige with you and around you, and her being, maybe you're with someone that you know that's very sick or that you're taking care of and their passing could be soon. You might be sitting there with them and suddenly you see all of this beigey color. Then you know that Azrael is there with them to help them cross over. Pale blue is Hanuel, which is our archangel to increase our vibrations of clairvoyance and to help women heal from their monthly cycles and their feminine health. Aqua blue is Raquel. I'm sorry. Yes, it's Raquel. which is our archangel of relationships. Dark blue is Zadkiel. And remember, that's our archangel to help us improve our memories and our mental abilities. Emerald is Raphael, an archangel of our health and wealth, and there to help us healing for those of us and others within the physical world. Pale green is Shamuel, which is our archangel of peace and also the one that helps us to find lost objects. Green and dark pink, Metatron, which is our archangel of children to help retain their gifts and self-esteem. And Archangel Metatron, when it's talking about children, also helps parents with raising their children or with adoptions and that type of thing. Bright pink is Jophiel, and that's our archangel that helps us with our thoughts and life. Pale pink is Ariel, our archangel of nature and animals, who also helps us with manifestation. Bright purple is Archangel Michael from protection and courage. Remember, everybody thinks because we call on Archangel Michael and we ask for white light that Archangel Michael is associated with white. He is not. Our guardian angels are associated with white. Archangel Michael is associated with protection. So when we're calling for white light, we're calling on our guardian angels, but we're also, when we call for the white light and Archangel Michael, we're calling on our guardian angels to surround us in that protection while Archangel Michael's there to give us the protection. Okay? Two different things. White surrounds us with protection. Archangel Michael's there to give us that protection. Rainbow is Raziel, and which is our archangel that helps us heal from spiritual blocks in our lives. He also teaches us about secrets. He's highly confidential. Remember, Raziel was the archangel that is said to be the angel and the keeper of God's secrets. The one that was sitting by the throne when God was creating life. He's the keeper of the Akashic records, which is the creation of life. Turquoise is Sandalphon, which is the archangel of music and prayers. It's said that when we say our prayers, because God's so busy, and even though he still hears us, all of us, that Archangel Sandalphon likes to kind of wrap them up in a pretty little package with a really pretty bow on it and hand them to God, meaning that they're very important to us as well. Reddish purple or violet is Jeremiel, which is our archangel who helps us to heal emotions. Pale yellow is Uriel, which is our archangel of wisdom, but Uriel also helps us to heal from past relationships. Dark yellow is Gabriel, which is our archangel of communication and messages and messengers. Messages and messengers. Numbers are also signs. When you see the same number over and over or a series of numbers, this is your angels talking with you as well. It is known that numbers are very powerful and they carry a very high vibration. Maybe when you knew, or maybe you didn't know, that computers and musical instruments are all formulated by numbers and driven by numbers. So math is extremely important in our lifetime. You can believe that the angel number messages are just as important and accurate. So this next section that we're talking about are the angel numbers. The number 0 is very spiritual and loving and from God about your spirituality and how you're growing in it. So if you see zeros a lot of times, like 000, you're connecting with your spirituality, or you're being given messages, or you're being planted, so to speak, so your spirituality is growing. Ones are new beginnings, but it also means to be careful of your thoughts, because when we have ones, it's the most manifestation number. We can manifest things very quickly when we're seeing that. So if we happen to be in a negative thought of mind and we see those ones, we can manifest that negativity around us very quickly. If that happens, you want to ask your angels to remove those negative thoughts and to help bring in positive thoughts into your mind and around you at that time. And once again, it's a time when we manifest quickly. So if you see those ones, you could be manifesting your thoughts and your dreams. 2 is about having faith and being strong and not giving up. It's just kind of like if you've planted flowers in the springtime, you have to wait for them to grow. Well, it's basically the same thing when you're seeing the 2s. It means that you just need to have that faith that what you're asking for and what you're connecting with your angels for is going to be there, that it's going to come about. Once again, though, it's in divine timing and not ours. 3s are about Jesus and the ascended masters being with you and helping you in your daily life and living. So our ascended masters can be around us all the time. They walk with us daily. But if you're seeing 3s constantly, then that means that your ascended masters are really helping you work on some things that you need to get through in lifetime to progress. 4 are about your angels being with you and helping you with your questions and problems and desires. It also means that you're an angel on earth. So when you see 4s, that means that you've got tons of angels with you and around you beside your guardian angels and the archangels that are with you. And don't forget, it also means you're an angel on earth. So angels on earth can mean a lot of different things, and we'll get into that in other lessons. But they are with us 24/7. 5s are about life changings. This is neutral, okay? Life changes doesn't necessarily mean it's something negative. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's something positive. It could just be something neutral. It could be something as simple as you're moving. It could be something as simple as you're changing jobs or that you're meeting a new person. So 5s are all about life changes. 6s, everybody thinks 666 is evil and demonic. All 6s mean is that your life is out of balance, that your material world and your spiritual world is out of balance, and you need to check yourself and get that back in balance. And you can do that by calling on your angels to help you with it. And you can do that also by giving your problems and your troubles to God and allowing Him to take care of them and not taking them back. 7 is about having great faith and that you're on the right path that you're supposed to be on. So it's about your life path, okay? So when you start seeing 7s, what they're telling you is you're where you're supposed to be. And if you don't feel like you're where you're supposed to be, then ask your angels, what's the deal here? Why am I supposed to be on this path? Because I can guarantee you it's what you're supposed to be doing. Because that life path was created before you even got here, if you remember. So whenever you see that, just know that you're traveling that path, even if it's not one that you want to travel. 8's about money. It's a money number, and it means that there's money or abundance coming your way. But don't confuse abundance with money. There are other things that are abundance. Abundance isn't always about money or winning the lottery, because it can be about love. It can be about finances coming your way where you can purchase a home, or it can be a number of friends, new friends coming into your life. Abundance can mean a lot of different things other than money. 9 is life purposes, to get to work on yourself. And also 9s mean endings. So if you have a tendency to see 1s and 9s together, that's your new beginnings and your endings. When you see the same numbers and combinations, it takes the meaning of each number and you put it together and to get the message. Such as if I would see the number 537, it's like this would mean that there's life changes coming. 3 means that your ascended masters are there to help you. And 7 means have faith, because that's the life path and that's where you're supposed to be. So the changes are coming along your life path and your ascended masters are there to help you. If you see 190, that means you have some new beginnings coming to you, and your 9s are the endings and your 0s are your spirituality. So it can mean that you've got new beginnings in your spirituality as you're growing and moving forward. Sibylla, are you still there? Just clicked off. Let me see if she gets back. Christine, are you still there?
I am. I'm just washing a dish.
Okay. I'm not sure if Sibylla's going to get back here or not. We just lost her.
I'm here.
Are you there, Sibylla? Sibylla? Sibylla, are you there? Okay, I thought I heard her say she was there. Okay, remember that our angels are around us always 24/7. They work with each of us in different ways and with what resonates with you, such as if you are a humorous person, they will be funny and joke around. But if you are a serious person, they will be very serious with you and stay serious with you. If you feel like you're getting a message from your angels, then believe it, because you are. Just ask your angels for help and knowing the signs they give you. Every person's angels work with that person in a way that resonates with that person. So just because they work with me one way doesn't mean that's how they're going to work with you. They work with each of us individually. If it helps, keep a journal of these thoughts when they come to you. The more you journal, the more they will come to you and the more it will make sense. The more you follow your angel signs and messages, the more confidence you will have. And I left that page for you guys to journal things. Okay? In connecting with our angels, oh, nope, I'm sorry, that was the last page. We just went through that. But again, on that last page where it says the more you follow your angels' signs and messages, the more confidence you will have. And when it's talking about journaling, I did leave that blank there, like I said, for you guys so that you can write things in there and journal it. So you can always refer back to that lesson then. Okay, so time for questions. Anybody have any questions? John?
I woke up one morning from a very interesting dream. I always look at the clock to see what time it is, and it was 4:44. So my question is, if 4 stands for an angel giving me a message that they're there to help me, if there's 3 4s, does that mean there's more angels there, or are they really trying to get the message across? So what does that mean when you have multiple 4s?
It's the same thing. It's the same message, but people have a tendency, because they say that if you hear something 3 times to know for sure that's your angels. So it's just kind of believed that if you see a group of numbers together, that it's all the same number, that it just has a little more power to it. But it's basically the same thing. 1 4, 2 4s, or 3 4s, 4 4s all together. It's all the same thing, that to know that your angels are with you and around you.
When you recognize something like that, colors or numbers or something that you know one of your angels is around you, would that be a good time to try to communicate with them and find out who they are?
Absolutely. Anytime's a good time. But if at that time, if you're like, oh wow, my angels are here, let me ask them a question, most definitely ask them a question. Okay? Any other questions?
Yes.
Go ahead, Rita.
In section C, you were talking about you can ask your angels to awaken your divine gift.
Yes?
So if I was to ask that, but I know that I have several different of these gifts, I just don't do it very well. Would it be all at one time, or would you develop one at a time where you would be able to absorb all this? You know what I mean? 'Cause I think it'd be very overwhelming for it to be like one day, boom, there it all is.
Yes.
And I don't know if I would know what to do with it. So should I ask for one at a time specifically, or?
Whatever works best for you. But you're right, it would be very overwhelming if they gave it to you all at once, which is what they did to me when mine opened back up. So if there's one particular thing that say you want to work more on your clairvoyance, okay? So ask them to awaken your clairvoyance more, and to teach you about your clairvoyance. When you get to a divine understanding of your clairvoyance where it makes total sense to you, then ask them for the next. And then maybe you want to go to clairsentient or to clairaudient or whatever. But you can ask them, you can just say to them, okay, I'm talking to you guys, I want to awaken my spirituality, I want to get stronger in this. Don't give it to me all at once, let's work on.
Right. So because I get the gut thing all the time, that gut thing that I'm supposed to be doing something, I'm supposed to be doing something, I'm supposed to be doing something, it keeps coming and coming and coming and coming, no matter how much I try to push it away, it still keeps coming back. And there's a lot of negativity towards what they're saying, what I believe they're saying, what other people on the outside are saying. And it's been very difficult to break away from all of that and just go ahead and do what I feel they're saying needs to be done, and that's been very, very difficult. So if I can in-tune that more, would there be a way that I could ask for them to show me signs that it's really, you know what I mean? Just like really I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, instead of
Right.
just having that hunch, that gut, that feeling in your stomach, in your pit that hasn't gone away, even though.
But that feeling in your stomach, that gut feeling, is your intuitiveness. So start with that one. Ask them to fine tune the intuitiveness, to know when and how to separate the two. So I would say work on that one first. You don't have to, but since that seems to be the one that's really giving you a little bit of stress, so to speak, then that to me would be the one you'd really want to fine tune and kind of harness. So I would start with that one. Okay?
Because it's been years. I mean, years and years.
Uh-huh.
The same thing. And,
Right.
You know, and you don't really understand until you've dealt with it for so long, and it goes away for a while, but then it comes back.
Yes.
And then you just wait for a while, and then it comes back. It's like, okay, I hear you. I'm just having a hard time accomplishing what I think needs to be done.
But see, it's not what you think needs to be done, it's what they're giving you. So once again, even in that's a whole big thing that you're trying to harness in. So ask them, break this down into small sections. Okay, give me a little bit, let's work on that. And then give me a little bit and let's work on that. And the first thing you know, you've put this whole big ball of wax together and it's sticking and makes more sense. Okay? Do you have any other questions? John?
I don't know anything about numerology, but I know that they have meanings for seeing certain numbers over and over again, or multiple numbers or something like that. And I was just wondering if you knew anything about numerology and how it relates to angels and the numbers related to angels.
Numerology and angel numbers are two total different things.
Are they? That's
Yes.
what I thought.
Yeah. And I'm not a numerologist. I do understand the angel numbers and I know how they work together and when you're seeing certain numbers, but numerology falls all out into, if you look up numerology numbers and spiritual numbers, you'll find two different meanings to each number. And numerology falls more under the astrology. It's how things line up and where they fit in the zodiac, or like the universe, how like when you're born, you get your zodiac sign by the month you're born, the time you're born, where the moon's passing the earth, where all the other planets are at while it's passing earth, which is called the houses. Like Pluto, they'll say Pluto's in the 7th house. That just means it's the area that it's at in the universe at the time you were born. And I don't understand astrology. I know a little bit about astrology. I understand the planets being in retrograde and how they can affect us. And when, like, Mercury's been a tough retrograde this time. It's really, really been hard on a lot of people. And the reason that is because it was trining Venus and the moon at the same time. So you had the love planet in there. I'm sorry, and Libra was in there. So you had the love planet in there. You had the moon coming in there that's going to overshadow it. And then you have Mercury that always plays havoc with relationships and finances and situations anyway. So it's been a really tough Mercury. Mercury also plays havoc with electronics, electrical things. You'll find that that's the time when electrical things will break down or computers go bad or different things like that. So it's been a tough Mercury.
So with angels, it doesn't have to be the same number over and over again. It can be, you can see like a photograph of an angel or something, then it would have 167, and the 167 would mean 3 different things to us rather than.
You would have to put it all together. 1's new beginnings, 6 is your life is out of balance, and 7 is having that great faith. So what that would say is you have a lot of new beginnings coming in, but you got to get your material world and your spiritual world balanced back in, and need to have faith that it's going to happen. Okay? Yes. Go ahead, Rita.
When you were talking about the colors, you didn't specifically say, you said when you see the color. What shape does that color have to be? Could it be any shape?
Shapes mean nothing to it. It could be speckles, flickering of light. It could just be some big ball form of energy. It could be like a lightning bolt. Shapes have nothing to do with it. It's the color that has to do with it.
But I think I've seen Raphael.
Well, I don't think you did. I'm sure you did. Trust, trust, trust.
Well, the people told me before they were just orbs, though. That what we were seeing was just orbs with our naked eye when we were doing a hunt. And I saw green go across the room and out through the wall.
Uh-huh.
And it was emerald green.
Well,
but I also saw white before in that same one, too. But we had pictures of red.
Uh-huh.
And everybody said they were just orbs. But it was...
Orbs.
One was more solid, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know, is it one of the angels or was it just an orb? And that's what I was trying to decipher which one it was.
Orbs are spirits. Orbs can be angels because it's spiritual. Okay. There's many different beliefs about orbs. A lot of people think that it's dust or water or whatever. And I believe that there are many out there that are dust or water, but I also very much believe that they're spiritual. And when orbs are in color, it really is spiritual. And once again, those colors mean something. So I'm going to go back to Doug again. Doug used to see purple, and it was his grandmother. So if he'd see a purple orb or a big purple energy field, he knew it was his grandmother. So orbs can be in color. Once again, they can be streaks, they can be a straight line, they can be square, they can be anything. So the colors can be anything. I can guarantee you that you saw Archangel Raphael, and he was there for a reason. I can guarantee you that the white were your guardian angels with you because you were on a hunt. So they wanted to be there to protect you. And not that this has anything to do with our guides and angels, but just to tell you, if you're going to go on ghost hunts, you need to have an Apache Tears stone with you, crystal. So don't go.
It was in Ohio. When I was in
Makes
Ohio.
no difference. I don't care where it's at. You've got to get you an Apache Tears crystal to carry with you when you do any kind of hunt.
I'll have to look and see what I got.
Okay.
Bob Frazier gave me some, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Apache Tears is very, very much a protective stone. Okay. Christine, do you have any questions?
No, I'm just distracted looking at numerology now.
Well, you...
I don't really have any questions, but I know the number 747 I see all the time. It's been years and years and years. I see it everywhere. But today I was on the the elliptical, and I saw, and I've been lately in the last year I've been seeing ones. So 111 or 1111.
Uh-huh.
So I looked at the treadmill and it was 1111. I look again and it's 747. So I saw both those numbers tonight.
Well, again, your ones are your new beginnings, and you're going through a bunch of new beginnings right now. Okay?
That's for sure.
And your 747 is have faith. Your angels are with you. Have faith. You doubt yourself and you question yourself all the time. So 747's telling you you've got to have that strong, great faith because your angels are there with you, talking to you, and have faith that they are. They're hammering it home.
Yeah.